Hi there. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about our research in virtual reality for physical therapy. My research partner and I both want to help people recovering from injuries. He has a background in virtual reality, and I have a background in biomechanics, so it seemed like a good blend. We've both gone through physical therapy ourselves for different injuries, but we both ran into the same problem. When you do physical therapy, you meet with your therapist a couple times a week for several weeks, and they teach you a bunch of exercises. Now, once those in-person sessions end, you're supposed to continue doing those exercises on your own at home for weeks or months because recovery takes quite a while, but neither of us did. The exercises are boring, they're monotonous, tedious, and we just didn't do them. And this is a really common problem. A lot of people don't do those follow through exercises at home, and they never make a full recovery, putting them at risk for re-injury. So we decided to make a funner experience with exercises. We wanted to gamify the exercises you're supposed to do for a specific injury. So we partnered with some physical therapists. They helped us create the exercises within the games that they would want to see, and also develop some of the metrics that they would want to see. So we learned about joint angles and joint torques that would help them evaluate patients, and make sure and monitor patients to make sure they're doing okay through these experiences. Uh, we did this research, a couple years ago. We now have publications on this. We've been building off this, and we've gotten some good momentum. With that initial pilot work, we were able to participate in the National Science Foundation Innovation Core program, which is a mouthful. But basically, it's a 7-week course through the NSF where they teach you how to bring your academic research into the real world, into the hands of the users, not just within your lab. So through this whole process, we interviewed 130 physical therapists across the nation to learn about their day-to-day problems. We weren't trying to pitch our idea, our virtual reality game. We were really trying to learn what is their biggest issues and then see if our technology would help solve these. Across the board, everyone said the biggest issue is telehealth. Um, Telehealth this past year really makes sense. With the pandemic, a lot of clinics had to shut down because they couldn't do in-person treatment, or they went through telehealth, fully virtual. So on a 2D screen like this, if I have a leg injury and I'm having trouble walking, and I walk by on the screen here, and a therapist on the other end is trying to see how I move, they're gonna have difficulty with that. And they're also gonna have difficulty getting precise metrics like joint angles and the things that they need for documentation to monitor progress. So while we didn't initially set out to solve these problems, we were able to pivot our research to solve these problems. With virtual reality, we can provide a virtual 3D environment for therapists and patient to meet, even though they're in separate places. They can still meet in a 3D world and see a full body movement. So then they could see me walk by and see what my movement is like. With machine learning and our motion capture system on campus, we were able to develop models to predict joint angles, joint torques, muscle activation, the things that therapists really want to see that they have difficulty doing on a 2D screen. So this was a really great experience because this really steered our direction to really specific problems that therapists need solved now. Now, telehealth is big because of the pandemic right now, but they predict that this is going to be big after the pandemic because telehealth solves a lot of health problems, or obstacles, I should say, for patients. If patients have difficulty getting to a clinic, if they can't drive, that's a big barrier. Getting time off of work is a big barrier. If it's half an hour to drive to the clinic, an hour for a session, half an hour back, you're supposed to do that 2 or 3 times a week for multiple weeks. Like, that's costing you a lot of money, a lot of your time off. So there are benefits for both the therapist and for the patient. So we're continuing on with this research. We're also applying through the National Science Foundation to their seed grants, as well as the National Institute of Health. Our hope is that we can, get one of these grants to build this platform and really get into the hands of the users and develop a business out of this. We have some faculty within our department who have gone through these steps before, and they really got their research out there and people are using it. And we want to do the same. We don't want it to just live in our lab and never get used. We really want to help patients and therapists alike. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Shoot me an email. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.